Om Shanti. Welcome everyone to this session. My name is Kanishta Agarwal and I welcome all of you on behalf of Sister Hansa, the coordinator of the Brahma Kumaris from the Sacramento Center. Just like last time, we will be starting our session with a beautiful song which will be sung by Sister Annie. Sister Annie, she lives in Sacramento. She has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation for the past 15 years. And today, the title of her song that she'll be singing for us is A Simple Gift. So let's listen to Sister Annie.
Hello, Om Shanti. Let's see. Oh, okay, let me open my video. I thought it would be nice to read the lyrics of the song. It's very simple, but it's lovely, and it's sort of like a poem. And it's, "'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free. 'Tis a gift to come down where you ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we will be in the garden of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will never be afraid. But to turn will be our delight when in turning and turning, we turn round right." So I'm just going to get the key on my piano, so I'll be right back. Okay. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where you ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, it will be in the garden of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will never be afraid. To turn will be our delight when in turning and turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, it will be in that garden of love and delight. It will be in God's garden of love and delight. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Annie. Such a beautiful gift you provided to us in the form of your lovely voice. We really enjoyed. And now I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today, Dr. Mohit Gupta, who joins us today from New Delhi, India. Dr. Mohit Gupta is a cardiologist. He's quite well published, and he has been involved in quite a bit of research, especially related to genetics. He has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation as taught by the Brahma Kumaris for the past 35 some years. He is very active both professionally with considerable participation in organized medicine as well as in the spiritual sense, giving talks and presentations both in India and also countries outside of India. So a very warm welcome to Dr. Gupta.
Thank you so much.
And also let me welcome Dr. Shwetank Agarwal, who will be in conversation with Dr. Mohit Gupta today. Dr. Shwetank is a cardiac anesthesiologist and an intensivist in US, also very well published, and has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation as taught by Brahma Kumaris for the past 20 plus years. So with this introduction, over to you, Dr. Shwetank.
Thank you, Dr. Kanishta. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sure all of you are enjoying these Tuesday evening sessions, which are really Wednesday morning sessions for those in India. The past two sessions that we had, were the first one with Dr. Swaminathan and the second one with Brother E.V. Girish, left us with a lot to contemplate on, a lot to reflect on. And I'm sure today's session will be the same. Especially the last session, I remember at the end when Sister Hansa, during her concluding remarks, says something very beautifully, very profoundly actually, and actually very succinctly too. And the words were, and so the last session was about love. The first session was about gratitude. And in the session on love, she said, you don't have to give love. Now, for a moment, that might sound kind of strange, but that's pretty deep. And what she said, you don't have to give love. You don't have to ask for love. You just have to be love. And everything will fall into its place automatically. Yeah, those words are still ringing in my ears. And I'm sure today we will hear lots of beautiful things that we can take with us as pearls of wisdom and that we can hold on to and use in our lives to, of course, to transform ourselves, our lives, but also to help others around us. So now we have been doing these sessions, right, which we are calling this as the mastering of our feelings and emotions. And just for your information, there will be one more session next Tuesday, which will be with Dr. Girish. He's a psychiatrist who lives in Mumbai. And after that, there will be a short break for a couple of weeks. And then we'll come back with many more speakers from India as well as from various places in Europe and US. So stay tuned for more information, which will be provided to you very soon. And just like last time, I want to let everyone know, those who are on the Zoom right now, that you have all been muted and you will not be able to unmute yourself, but we, as usual, would love to hear from you. We would love to listen to your questions, your comments. If you feel that you want to speak, then you're welcome to raise your hand. It's like the electronic hand, e-hand, if you will. If you go into the participant section, there is a small place where you can click on that says raise your hand. But in any case, you can always type in the chat box your questions and comments, and we will get to those. We have so far, I think, done quite well in making sure that we respond to each one. We kind of keep an eye on the chat very well, and we will try to do the same today. And I also sincerely request all of you to stay back till the end. We are always very mindful about the time. We will make sure that we end on time today as well. But we would like you to listen to and have the experience of meditation, which will be conducted this time by Sister Hansa from the Sacramento Center herself. And I'm sure you don't want to miss that. Anyways, all right, so now we can start our conversation. We have Dr. Mohit Gupta here with us. So uh, first of all, I guess it would be kind of good that we spend a few minutes trying to understand this whole theme of mastering our feelings and emotions. And I feel this topic or this theme is intriguing, but at the same time quite timely. And I was wanting to know from your perspective. You're a doctor, you're a cardiologist, active in the front lines as well. How do you feel this topic is relevant, if you will, in these present times? Over to you, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, Shwetang Bhai, and thank you, Kanishtaben, for a very generous introduction. And as you rightly said, that we are living in an emotional world, and emotions have always been a part of our life. There is no doubt about it. And many people ask me that, how do you feel what emotion is? And whenever I feel that, emotion is just like you, it's energy in motion. It's just something that is coming out of my mind, and it is continuously moving. It is never static. And never ever we have been through so much turbulent times in this particular generation, that emotions have been so relevant in the current times. Love, forgiveness, anything, gratitude, and today's topic, compassion. Probably the reason is that emotions are never experienced alone. The gravity may be different, but it is important for all of us to understand that if we are happy, we are not happy alone. And similarly, if we are sad, we are not sad alone. Have you ever observed that some people just light up the room the moment they enter your home or your house, isn't it? And some people just make your life a little bit dull the moment, because the kind of energy that they are bringing, it completely transforms the environment. It completely changes the atmosphere at your place. And that is clearly showing, that we are not happy or sad alone. The emotions are reflected very, very powerfully into the atmosphere. They're radiating continuously outside our mind. And this has been shown scientifically also. So I think the present topic, compassion, is very pertinent. And I would just share a very small story that I remember today to make the theme much more clear. And this is a true story of 1800. And it was a young child who used to sell different things, moving from house to house. And one day, very lovely, very smiling, very kind child. And one day, when he was done for the work throughout the day, very tired, he went to a place and just knocked the door because he was very thirsty. And very politely, a lady came out and he asked that, "Can I have a glass of water, please?" The lady smiled, and she knew that the child was really tired after a day's work. And she immediately went inside, and instead of a glass of water, she bought a glass of milk for him. And the child hadn't any words to say. Quietly, he just grabbed the glass of milk and immediately started drinking that glass of milk. After finishing, he said that, "Can I pay you something for this, or what can I do for you?" She said, "No, you don't have to do anything. Our parents have taught us that for these things, you don't charge anything." And politely, he asked her to go. The child remembered that particular incident and went back. And decades passed by. The lady grew old, and one day she was suffering from a serious illness. She was brought to a big town and treated in a big hospital. And a specialist doctor was called because her disease was not diagnosed. And the moment he saw that lady, he could recognize that she was the same lady who gave her a glass of milk. And he quietly started treating that lady. After months of hard work, diagnosing and proper treatment, he was able to successfully do that. And when the time for clearance of the bill was there, and the lady knew that she's so poor, she may not be able to afford the bill of the hospital, that young doctor quietly asked the officers to send the bill to his office. And he wrote something on the corner of the bill and sent back to the lady. And lady, with her, frightening hands, afraid that what would be the bill, she opened up, and just down to the bill, it was written, "Paid in full for a glass of milk." And the moment she saw that, the tears started coming out of her. And she could remember that the boy was the same boy whom she had offered a glass of milk. And when I was going through this story, this is story of Dr. Howard Kelly, one of the founders of John Hopkins Hospital, and a true story. And what it came to my mind is that while suffering is an integral part of our life, another coin, another aspect of suffering is compassion, and both suffering and compassion are going hand in hand. So in present times, when we see that a small virus or has stricken all over the world simultaneously, it makes all the more relevant that while suffering is on a rise on one particular hand, with the equal power and more effect, even compassion is on a rise. Emotions, positive emotions are also rising. The feeling of gratitude, the feeling of kindness, the feeling of compassion. So we have to look and examine these emotions and actually become an embodiment, because whatever we do, it has to come back to us. You see that the boy was so gentle, so kind. He remembered and he practiced that particular act in as a gratitude towards that lady. So this is my thought, that emotions are very relevant. They have always been with us, and we are continuously like a lighthouse radiating the kind of emotions that I allow my mind to hold on. They are value neutral. They could be positive and they could be negative. If I choose negative things to enter my mind, I will become a lighthouse for negative emotions. But similarly, if I choose some good quality stuff, I can become a positive lighthouse. So it's all a matter of our choice. What I am trying, I'm choosing to take care, like a gardener, he's gifted a beautiful garden. And if he doesn't take care of what is growing in the garden, his garden could turn into a weed. And similarly, our mind, it can turn into a weed. But if he's choosing to take care of the garden, it becomes a beautiful garden. And similarly, like a gardener, we can also take care of the emotions that we allow to enter our mind and enjoy, make our mind a beautiful garden that is radiating peace, love, joy, and happiness to it. So that is
Yeah.
my take on that.
Thank you. Thank you. This story that you shared and the analogy of the garden that you shared with us is a nice segue for us to go on to the topic that we have today, right? The overall theme is mastering our feelings and emotions, but the topic that we are exploring today is compassion, an antidote to suffering. Yeah, so thank you very much for that introduction of the topic. And I was wondering, before we go on into how we kind of can create compassion in our lives, I was thinking first let's sit and kind of try to define what compassion really means, and especially because there's so many different words that are floating around, like pity and sympathy and empathy and even sometimes mercy. And so how do you see compassion in all of these? And if I may remind you as well of those days when we used to go to the medical school anatomy classes and we would
Yeah.
dissect cadavers. I think it would be good if we can dissect compassion a little bit for all our listeners. Over to you, back to you.
Uh, we are fond of definitions, isn't it? We know, we have experienced, and I believe that everybody who is on this journey today, they are all compassionate human beings. There's no doubt about it. But still, we are trying to define something which we all are a part, we all experience in our life. And if I'm to make these things very clear to you with an example and with the terminologies, three things we need to understand. The first term is empathy, and the second term is altruism, and the third term is compassion. All the other terms are self-explained once we understand these three terms. And I'll tell you how do we understand this. Altruism is that when you are doing something good to others, something to help others, it's an act of simple kindness to give benefit to others. That is altruism. Like, somebody is hungry, you offer food to him. Or somebody is needy, you offer something X, Y, Z to him. That is altruism. You are simple. Somebody needs a book, you give that book to him. That is altruism. A simple act of giving benefit to others. It could not involve emotions also. You may not even feel, but just that it comes a thought. You are walking around the seashore, you see somebody who's needy, you help that person. That is called altruism. Now, more deeper term that comes is empathy. Empathy is what I call as automatic mirroring. A person with XYZ kind of emotions is there in front of you, and you mirror the same emotions in your life, and you become empathetic with that person. And if that is defined as, I am feeling the way you feel, the feelings are exactly matching. Now, there is a big catch. It is a double-edged sword. If you start feeling the way other people are feeling, it may be a positive aspect also, and sometimes it can have a negative, powerful effect also. And I'll give you an example. You are also a doctor, cardiac anesthesiologist, and I'm a cardiologist. So let us understand that a person in pain, a patient comes to us in a clinic. Now, that person is a pain. I'm able to see that that person is not in a good state of mind. And the moment I start understanding his pain, look at this. I see him, I'm watchful, I start understanding his pain. That is good. That is called sympathy. The moment I allow that pain to make my own self, I absorb his pain, I become empathetic with him, I start feeling his pain, it would be very, very difficult for me to treat that person. My hands would be trembling. I wouldn't be in a very good state of mind because I'm now becoming the embodiment of that same kind of pain. And that is where the catch is. Compassion, on the other hand, is emotional response when you allow or when you perceive the suffering of others. A person is in pain. As a doctor, as a simple human being, I'm able to perceive the suffering of a pain. Even if we are not doctors, we are able to see that many of us today are suffering because of the disease. And this is followed consequentially by our authentic desire to help without expectations. You see, my desire to help without expectations is what is called compassion. So it is not automatic mirroring. The moment being a compassionate human being, I start absorbing those emotions, my energy, my conscience completely changes. So my message to you for a very practical understanding is, be a compassionate human being. There is no doubt, but don't allow that pain to become the part of your ecosystem. If we allow everybody's pain to become a part of our ecosystem, then probably it will be very, very difficult for us to heal. So compassion is one of the most powerful energies to heal somebody. Compassion is our naturally adaptive trait. We often feel that, do we have to inculcate compassion? Or we often say that, oh, please be compassionate to others. No, it's a naturally evolved adaptive trait. It is always there within us. But how beautifully we are allowing it to come out, suppressing or avoiding those negative emotions is in art. So it's a phenomena that is not integral or not related to one particular person, or it is related to a particular individual. It's a mindset. Even child can be a compassionate person, a compassionate child, and even an adult person can be a compassionate child. And we have good evidence to show all these things. So this is what compassion is: the emotional response when you are perceiving the suffering of others with an authentic desire to help without expectation, without expectations.
Yeah.
So one more thing, it will, if to simplify it, it inculcates the art of associating and dissociating simultaneously. You know when to associate, and you help while dissociating also. That's the art of.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I like this aspect of the desire to help. In a way, I find all these other words, pity, sympathy, empathy, or even mercy, as passive energies, whereas compassion is a very active energy where you have kind of committed yourself to helping the soul or
Yeah.
helping humanity, if it is for all of humanity, that you need to do something, and that you are doing something apart from just the need. And I also, many times like to see these other energies as where we feel as if there is this dichotomy, we versus them, and or we higher than them or others, yeah, or someone else. Whereas when I look at compassion, it almost brings me to an equal footage, that I am a soul and so is the other person, and we are all created equally as images of God, if you will.
Yeah.
And that I can only serve the other person unconditionally, like you said. Yeah. And I also, in a way, find it intriguing that the true compassion is non-selective. Yeah, like you said, it is not towards one person or few people. It is an energy that one creates for everything and everyone around. Yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
please go ahead.
So, as you very rightly said, that it's unconditional. There is no doubt about it. It's unconditional and it is non-selective. That is very, very beautiful quality of a compassionate human being. You cannot be compassionate to one person and you cannot be not compassionate to the other person. And one thing we all must understand, that the moment we think about compassion, the whole energy system, the whole energy changes, the focus changes from I, me, and myself to globally. The mindset changes from a limited mindset to an unlimited ocean, to the unlimited mankind. And that is where the power of the emotion lies in here. The energy of the emotion lies in it. It's not just for your own self, but when you are helping everybody in this universe, you become a very, very powerful and the elite energy. And that is why, in one of the studies, if you see, I was reading the literature by Charles Darwin, when he says that all of us are aware of this word, that it's survival of the fittest. But when you go into the deeper writings of Darwin, he very beautifully mentions that the races, the generations who survive the longest are those generations who are more sympathetic towards each other, who are more compassionate towards each other. And that is why he mentions that it's not survival of the fittest, but it's also survival of the most compassionate and survival of the kindest of the humans.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I like it. From going from me or I to we. Yeah, that's what compassion is all about. Thank you very much. Now that we have understood what is compassion, I guess it would be kind of a good progression if we move on to why being compassionate, right? And so, would you like to take us into that?
Yeah, definitely. You would do something if it is benefiting you, isn't it? It is a natural emotion. Shwetank. If I practice any emotion, I would be doing it because I really enjoy it. I really love to become the embodiment of it. And this emotion is of no difference. This is carrying the similar importance. So let me give you a very balanced answer for this. Not only just because we feel good, a person, you are compassionate towards somebody. What is the kind of feeling that you have? May I ask you, Shwetang bhai, what would be the first feeling that you would have if you are doing something good, you are being compassionate to somebody?
You feel good right away. You feel happy.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
The first thing, without even showing the act of compassion, merely thinking about compassion starts making a difference in your life. That is what is important. That is the energy of the emotion. And I'll tell you why this happens. Because we are a conglomerate of 50 trillion cells. It's like a philharmonic orchestra. You have 100 people with different instruments and they're trying to play those instruments. Now, when each instrument is a capacity in itself, when they are playing their instruments, each instruments will play differently. But when a central command comes, and that person who is instructing those all people who are musicians, and he gives a central command, all those musicians start playing their music and it comes as a beautiful symphony. This is the power of positive emotions. When a central command goes from my mind, a thought, What is that command? A powerful, energetic thought goes to all the cells of my body, to the 50 trillion cells of the body, each cell individual in its own capacity, having its own reproductive, having its own digestive, having its own excretory system, all those cells behaving differently. The moment central positive emotional command goes, they start synchronizing, they lose their individual intelligence and start behaving in the same positive way. What does it manifest as? We start feeling good. That is very, very important. The studies have shown that the level of anxiety, the level of depression, the level of, the type of personality that we keep on facing in our life, that significantly goes down by almost 25 to 30%. If we are facing any disease, the speed of recovery of the disease, not only for our own selves, the power to heal our own self, that significantly increases. This is the beautiful, this is called the research in the positive psychology. It's very clear that when they took the patient of burns, those individuals who are practicing compassion, they're able to heal themselves more beautifully, more powerfully as compared to those people who don't practice this. And third, they are able to manage those stressful situations in their life. We are always going to face situations. It could be in your relations. Look at your family. Each one of us who is there with us today, we are facing challenges from our family. What are the challenges that we are facing from our family? The differences in behavior. People are not behaving the way I want them to. And this is the the biggest problem that we face. Lack of compassion is what is destroying our relations. Lack of understanding is what is destroying our relations. The moment I'm compassionate, my relations with my own self and my family, they start improving. We face challenges from the professional life, our business, these are challenging times and we are continuously facing these challenges. All these challenges, we are able to deal with them much more beautifully once we are compassionate human beings. Similarly, challenges in our social life, from the government, from the nature, all these challenges we are able to face comfortably when we are practicing these positive emotions like compassion. So we heal ourselves better. Study from the University of Michigan, it shows that even the lifespan of those human beings who are compassionate human beings is longer as compared to those who lack compassion. And when brain imaging studies from the National Institute of Health, they were done, they imaged the brain of young infants. What did it show? That those children who are practicing compassion, those adults who are practicing compassion, they're happy centers of brain. They're happy centers of brain. Remember, not the pleasure centers. The happy centers of brain are excited continuously. They are hyperactivated. This is the power. And when I was going through this, I was wondering that why is it happening? Why is it happening? There's a very simple science to it, very simple. That anything that is manifesting as positivity in our life needs to affect our immunity, our stress hormones, and our inflammation. So what the studies have shown is very beautiful, a very simple example that I would like to see and ask each one of you to reflect right here and right at this particular moment. And this is a revealing study. This is a revealing study. So this was a study from the University of California. And they proposed that those people who are compassionate human beings, those people who are happy human beings, naturally their inflammation should be less, isn't it? And their immunity should be higher. So they started analyzing these individuals biochemically. But to their surprise, when they analyzed, the markers of inflammation were not significantly decreased in all the individuals who claimed that they are happy individuals. So they went into deeper details of those happy and compassionate human beings. Now, this was revealing. What they saw was that once we say that we are happy because we are having everything and we are just practicing altruism in our life, simply that we are giving happiness to others in form of materialistic treasures, and we are happy because we have everything, which is called the hedonic happiness. These are the individuals who did not have any decrease in inflammation. Now, this was very surprising. But those individuals who practiced happiness, who practiced compassion, and hence derived happiness in their life. That means they were continuously practicing compassion towards other individuals. And this act of compassion, not just act of materialistic giving, this act of compassion made them peaceful and happy. These are the individuals whose inflammatory parameters were significantly decreased. This is called the eudaimonic happiness. So we all need to understand that compassion has a very, very powerful effect on our inflammatory parameters and our immune system. The cortisol level, which is a stress hormone, we all are aware, we all have read about this. The cortisol levels, the stress hormone, is significantly decreased once we are practicing compassion by 25%. Very clear scientific evidence we have that 25% decrease in cortisol levels once we are practicing compassion. And further, the DHEA hormone, dihydroepiandrosterone, this is a anti-aging hormone. This significantly increases, and this is why the study from University of Michigan, they hypothesized that these people may be having a longer lifespan, and they actually proved it, that once we are compassionate human beings, we have a much longer lifespan. So you see, you are living longer and you are having a better quality of life just by a simple act of giving. And if you permit me, Shwetank, I would like to show a recent study that was published. May I just share a screen?
Sure.
Yeah. So this was very interesting, This was a recent research that I've found. This was a research from the Harvard University, and this is called the Harvard Second Generation Study. And we have Dr. Robert Waldinger sitting with his wife right there in front of you, very happy and very peaceful. And what was this study? This was the longest longitudinal study conducted till date in this world, the longest ever study. And this was initially called the Grant and the Glueck study. And look, they tracked the emotional and the physical well-being of the two populations from the Boston. 456 poor men and 268 male graduates who were very educated. So one was the Grant and the other one was the Glueck group. Now, when they followed up generations after generation, generations after generation, they studied their emotional parameters, the physical parameter, they came to conclusion that in this 75-year study, there is only one secret to have a fulfilling life. Only one secret, nothing else. Rest all things follow. Rest all things. And what was that secret? Good relations. The Jones just protect our bodies, they also protect our brains. And when you dig deeper into these relations, why a person would be having good relations? Good relations with your own self. Good relations in your family. Good relations with your society. Possible only when we are continuously, unconditionally practicing compassion. That's the key. Love, acceptance, and compassion is what should be the key of our life. So we must understand that in these times, all of us, we call it an emotional world. We are a gamut of emotions continuously throughout the day. We are going. If we want to have a quality life, if we want to get rid of anxiety and depression, if we want to have a longer lifespan, if we want our happy centers to be activated, not pleasure center. Remember, people often confuse pleasure with happiness. No, pleasure is visceral. Happiness is ethereal. You can experience pleasure by materialistic things, but compassion is something which is absolutely an eternal thing. So if you want to have that level of quality of life, we must inculcate or rejuvenate that compassion. It is always there in us. Remember, you don't have to search for compassion anywhere. It's always there within each one of us. We are naturally compassionate. We are naturally evolved and trained to be compassionate individuals. It's only a question of realizing and understanding its importance. Look at the energy that radiates from the other person, when you are compassionate towards somebody. He may not be able to give you something materialistic. He may not be able to pay you something for the act of compassion, but the blessings, the energy, the emotions that he is generating, every emotion that you are generating compassion, the emotions that he is generating from his mind are extremely, extremely, extremely powerful. They are showering like powerful molecules charged with millions and millions of volts of energy to make you happy, peaceful, and comfortable.
Yeah.
What we call as the energy of blessings that we get in. So compassion should be practiced.
So true. Thank you very much. Yeah, I totally agree. See, in a way, now we are understanding quite a bit about positive psychology, especially in the West, if not in the East. And so I think a lot more people now know that being compassionate is good for us. However, despite all of that, we still find it kind of difficult to be compassionate. And like you said, we don't have to do an act of compassion. We don't have to even try really that hard because we are inherently compassionate beings.
Compassion.
However, you sometimes see that children, for example, and you had mentioned earlier that even children can be compassionate, and I would say that
Yeah.
in fact children are more compassionate than us adults. Many times we lose that somewhere along the way. And I remember a story someone had shared of a lot of people sitting in a plane, and there's one small child, a baby, who starts crying and keeps on crying throughout the flight, and everybody is so upset because they have paid so much of money to be on that flight and to be able to get a good sleep or rest or whatever, read their book and so on and so forth. And they're fuming inside, they're not happy. But then there is one child who is about 4 or 5 years old, somehow comes out of his mom's lap, if you will, or the seat belt, or however he unbuckles himself, and then walks down the aisle over to that small child, that small baby who is crying, and takes out the lollipop that he has from his mouth and puts it in the small baby's mouth. So in a way, somewhere the child is experiencing compassion in such a natural, organic way. However, we sometimes find it very difficult. And I was thinking if you would like to say something about that, what has gone wrong, and why do we find it so difficult to be compassionate many times?
Uh, Very simple, compassion is contagious. You see that once a single act of compassion naturally transmits or transfers to the other individuals more powerfully than even this little virus. Why we are feeling difficult to practice this is because we are unaware of the mechanics of the recipe of compassion. We are all fond of recipes if we like to eat something good, and the recipe of compassion is very simple. Let me ask you, if you want to give me something, what would be the first prerequisite for it? What would be the first prerequisite for it?
I,
Everybody imagine.
I'll need to know what you want.
I need to, even if you know that what I want, and you are very, very clear that I want this particular thing, still there is one particular thing that we all need to have. That's a must prerequisite before we give it to others. And
We have to have it.
yes, that's the key. That's the key. That is where the answer of your question lies. That is where. Ask yourself, I am ready to practice compassion towards others. But am I having that same level of compassion for my own self? To give peace to others. If I want to give compassion to others with the right form of energy, in the right way, at the right time, without any mixing, I need to experience the same thing in my own life first. You see that? That is called the power of experience. Until and unless I've experienced the same thing in my life, unconditionally for my own self, how beautifully will I be able to transfer that energy to others? Very difficult and often not possible. So The biggest question that how to practice compassion is to start with your own self. To start with your own self. Brother, we must understand that 99% of the people in this world, they fail to be compassionate towards their own self. While continuously trying to practice compassion towards others, it is first very important to look into your own self. A compassion is a consequent of, is a natural, natural response of a clean mind, a clear mind, and a stable mind. You know, if we want to see our reflection in a river, what are the two qualities of river that we need? I want to see my own face in the river. I need to have only two qualities of the river, and I will be able to see my reflection. And those two qualities, the first one is the river needs to be clean. The water needs to be absolutely clean. If it is clean, I'll be able to see my reflection. But second is, it also needs to be stable. When the water is absolutely stable and clean, we are able to see our reflection. And emotions like compassion, happiness are absolutely the same. The moment I reflect into my own mind, my mind generating 50 to 75,000 thoughts in a single day, generating huge quantity of emotions, different emotions, one thought, one choice, one feelings, one emotions and behavior, and the whole life changes. 50,000 thoughts, look at the quality of thoughts we are having. If each thought is filled with compassion, the energy of our mind, the clarity of our mind completely changes. Today, why the problem is having is that 95% of our thoughts are either waste, either repetitive, or either negative thoughts. This is National Science Foundation. This is the research from the Stanford University. So we need to understand, to practice compassion, we must look at the quality of our thoughts. What are the quality that we are generating? What is the power of thoughts that we are inculcating? And whenever we practice compassion, only 4 important things we have to look for. Only 4 important things. And let us reflect at each one of them in short, and you will see the whole thing will change. Let us create a situation. I am in real trouble. I am in real trouble. And I feel that somebody should really listen to me. I am feeling that pain and negativity. And you all start creating this particular situation. Now you are running from one place to the other, looking that somebody is there to listen to you. So what is the first thing that is required for compassion? The first and the most important trait, if we want to practice compassion, is to have, make ourselves available. Availability is the most important. Now, the problem today why we are unable to practice compassion is neither we are having time to talk to our own selves. We are not even available for our own self. Look at this, 24 hours in a day, 1,440 minutes in a day. We are a gamut of continuously digital world. Like, we are pressing the accelerator of our life in the morning and sleeping in the night with the sleeping pill, continuously doing, transforming our lives from human beings to human doings. We were supposed to be in this world and we are doing. If we are not even available for our own self, we are not even available for the other person, where would we practice compassion? Compassion needs availability. Very, very important for us. Unconditional availability. When the person comes, talking to my own self, oh, something wrong has happened. Don't worry. Let me talk to my own self. These things happen. That is self-talk. I need to make myself available and start talking to my own self. And also, if somebody in pain who comes to you, talking to that person, connecting to that person, making yourself available is most important. Don't continuously use this word, oh, I'm busy, I don't have time. A child comes, how many times in our family, a young child, a small child would come, oh, mommy, I have this problem. Do you have a minute for me? Oh, please don't disturb me. I'm very much occupied. talk to me later, without even understanding that what is the kind of energy he's bringing, under what circumstances or what situation that person is going. I don't have time. Delete this word from our dictionary today and right here. I don't have time is not, I have time for you. Maybe even if it is only for half a minute or even for 20 or 30 seconds, I have time for you. Come on, tell me, what is the problem? And the second most important thing to practice compassion is attention. You know, listening, people say listening patiently, listening peacefully is the gateway to compassion. Let us ask, when people come to us with problems, what is our response commonly? Even before listening to others, often we start explaining them, start even, sometimes creating that feeling of irritation, of anger, the kind of emotions that we go through. Oh, what is he speaking? Listening is very, very important.
The art
Before,
of listening.
yeah, art of listening. That is
Yeah.
very, we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful. Listen carefully what that person is saying. What is the emotion? Child would sometimes put his things very rampantly, very incoherently. It doesn't matter. We might need to organize those things according to us, but it doesn't matter. We must do it. Listen patiently. That is very, very important. We have to avoid multitasking. Sometimes what is happening, Shwetang, by today is that, we are talking to each other and then we have that mobile phone right here in front of you. Come on, you keep on speaking and I am continuously connected on directly. The television is going. The quality of our conversation, the energy of our conversation, this is pure science now. Study from the US only shows that it goes down by 40% the moment we have only the smartphone which is present between our conversation. So compassion needs no technology. Compassion needs technology of your mind, not high tech. It is nothing high tech. It is only high touch what we need in our life. High touch is the way to heal others. That is very, very important. The art of listening. And the third thing is very powerful energy that we all need is accepting. You know, people may be wrong. It doesn't matter. Accepting unconditionally. Accept being non-selective. कोई बात नहीं. It doesn't matter if you have done wrong. It happens with everybody. Accepting your own self. Most commonly, when we people do wrong or people are in some kind of emotions, we start blaming people, situations for their plight. Remember, blame is a very, very powerful negative energy. Compassion and blame cannot go hand in hand. Even if somebody is suffering and it is because of some other XYZ person or situation, blame should not come as an energy in between healing. Why? Because blame takes away the clarity of the mind. The clear picture that we are able to see, it is taken away. What is happening today? You look at the social media, you look at the digital media, you look at the print media, you open the television channels, 99.9% of the times, there are very few acts of compassion, but continuously blaming each other for everybody's plight. No, compassion needs no blame. It means, because blame will always inculcate guilt. Compassion means accepting your own self. Compassion means accepting others. The moment I blame other persons, I maintain my sight into the situation, but we lose insight into the emotional mindset of the person. Very, very important for us to understand. We might be able to see the person, but the emotional insight that is must for healing, we lose that particular. So remember, accept everybody. It doesn't matter if a person has done something really wrong. It happens. Everybody goes through that particular situation. Let me accept peacefully. Let me accept. Yes, that is fine. That is okay. It happens with everybody. Let me accept, and inculcating positive self-talk. Telling yourself, oh, I made a mistake. I can't do this. I'm always like this. People keep on thinking about me like this. I don't think I have that kind of a power. No. Negative self-talk is disastrous. Acceptance immediately starts manifesting for your own self and for other individuals. Inculcating a positive, powerful self-talk, teaching others you have the capability. You have to do this. You have the capability. Nobody else can do it for you. Telling yourself that yes, I have that beautiful energy. I'm a powerful soul. I'm a very powerful energy inside. I have the power to conquer these situations. What happens in healing? When a person is suffering, as a doctor, do you or do I go to any particular patient and say, oh, I don't think you are suffering. I don't think you will be able to heal yourself. No, we never do this. Even if we know that the lifespan of the person is at the end, we still say, you have the power to heal yourself. Come on, inculcate that energy. That is beautiful. So that is very, very important. And once we inculcate that self-compassion, that belief system, that yes, I can do that for my own self, healing your own self is the most powerful thing. I'll show you a very beautiful example if you have a couple of minutes. And,
Sure.
that's a story of my own life. And you would be really enjoying that. Are these things coming out of your own experience? Just see this, this is my own story. And I'll share this particular day. This was a day of March 20th, 2003. And coming back from the cath lab, it was an evening. And I came back and suddenly, I started having seizures and I became semi-conscious. My parents being doctors, I was left like fighting like a David and a Goliath, a classical color lithograph fighting a big giant. And I was rushed to my own hospital in 2003. And I was left with this huge brain mass in my brain. It was multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, All that thing came crashing down. 19 drugs, resistant to 18 drugs. I was gulping almost 14 tablets a day. It was a big ordeal. Continuously, I was having those tablets, not affecting much. And then you see, on June 15th, 2005, this was my final brain scan, and it ended up on a surgery on 20th June 2005. Surgery. And I was happy that, now the surgery has been done. What next? On January 2006, only at 6 months of follow-up, another mass, the old one was healed. I developed another lesion in my brain in the cerebellum. Now, doctors started saying that you're already on 16 tablets. I was sensitive only to one injection, amicacin, continuously injected every day with that toxic injection, affecting my hearing. This was not operable, and I was left with no options. I was wondering what I am supposed to do. I'm a doctor, I'm a cardiologist, I'm having the best treatment, best neurologists across the world are treating me. But I do realize that, old ways are not going to open the new doors. I really have to design something new for my own life. So what I did, I was in search of transformation. And I knew that if I want to heal myself, continuously just looking at the medical science won't help. So I took up to meditation very powerfully. I was practicing, but I made my belief so strong that this meditation is going to heal me. Nothing is going to happen to me. Continuously doing 1 year of very powerful, compassionate meditation, Raj Yoga meditation. Every day morning, getting up in the morning, having those medications, but inculcating my belief system, telling my body cells that you are absolutely fine. There is nothing that is going to happen to your brain. I practiced this continuously for 1 year. And what happened was, after 1 year, when this brain scan was repeated in April 2007, the whole mass from the brain had disappeared. Despite, I was having medications, and this meditation helped me so much. Your belief system is able to heal you. Compassion And these positive emotions are a belief that you inculcate in your mind. This is so much important for us to understand. What are these things doing? We are, while all of us are treating physically, we are giving tablets to take care of the emotional distress that people are giving. Remember that all these positive emotions are a natural consequence of meditation, of the positive mindset that we create in our life. These emotions give you the easiness in your life. And that is the power that each one of us have. And the last thing that we need to inculcate to heal someone, very, very important, which is a very powerful emotion to heal somebody, to practice compassion, is to not hold on anything. Remember, cleaning of your mind is very important. While today all of us are cleaning our hands, all of us are sanitizing our hands n number of times. We are taking precautions in form of wearing a mask. We are taking precautions so that the infection of other people is not going within us. My question to you at this particular time is that are we also taking precautions that the emotions, the negative energy of other people is also not getting into my mind? Am I continuously absorbing that negative energy and allowing it to be part of my own ecosystem? If the answer is yes, I won't be able to heal other person. Compassion, that is why, is called always unconditional. Remember, letting go of. These are the times that teach us that holding grudges is not the way of life. Holding hands is the way of life. Very, very important. Giving just materialistic thing to others, giving good technology to others is not what everybody needs. Today, each one of us, we need is high touch, a compassionate touch. People may be wrong, but choose not to become the embodiment of that. Oh, that person told me something very bad. I felt really hurt. When did it happen? 20 years back. When did it happen? 10 years back. I'm holding on to that negative energy. One person, one negative thought, one negative behavior of that person, I allow it to enter into my mind. 365 days, 365 negative persons, I allow everything to go into my mind. 10 years, 3,650 negative emotions. Your mind is not mine. It turns into a dustbin. Would you be able to practice compassion? Not possible.
Yeah, I like to call it as a refugee camp. Yeah, it becomes it becomes a very interesting phenomenon right there. So I totally agree with you that we need to be able to accept everyone, and in a way, from Raj Yoga meditation perspective, it kind of takes us to actor consciousness, that we are all part of a big drama of life, and each one has his own role. Each one is an actor, and each one is playing his own part, and I need to understand that bigger picture and to be able to accept each one's part. And each one's part is unique, so is mine. Yeah, so the acceptance element is very important. And I see a question here along the lines that we have been talking, and what you have been talking in the past couple of minutes, says, I have hard time forgiving someone. In a way, this is a little bit going into the next session where we are going to explore forgiveness, but they are all one and the same, really. All these emotions, we can name them. It is almost like different colors of a rainbow. It all emerges from one energy, the positive energy of the soul. So whether we call it as forgiveness or compassion, in a way, it all comes together. So the question is, I have hard time forgiving someone who cheated and hurt me so badly that I have lost the feelings of compassion and love, regardless of how hard I try, and I can't let go of those painful memories, forgive the person, and move on. How do I transfer this bitterness and hatred to compassion and forgiveness? Yeah, we already talked about that, but if there is anything else you want to add, just to respond to this
While
question.
while you are writing this question, just now dissect this particular question. Look at the energy and the kind of mind that it is coming from. it looks like a person is suffering, isn't it? Inability to forgive other person is like punishing your own self for something that other person has done. You are repeatedly punishing. If that person has done something wrong 10 years back, your inability to punish that, to respond to that person or forgive that person, is like you are becoming the gamut of same emotions again and again. It's like you are giving the privilege of your life to be controlled by other person. If you're happy to do this, go ahead and don't forgive. Even while you say that you are unable to forgive the other person, what happens is you are giving the control of your happiness, of your life, of your peace to other person. I have never given this privilege to anybody. Why should anybody control my happiness? He has done something. It was his karma, isn't it? He gave me a wound. And if I keep that wound open, when I'm going on a road and there is a stone, somebody has kept inadvertently right in the center of the stone, and I get hurt, I hurt myself, and the blood is coming out. Now I sit down on the side of the road and say, I am not going to go and heal myself until and unless the person who comes and who has kept the stone will remove the stone, and only then I will go and heal myself or get myself treated. Who is in the pain at that time? The chances are that the person may not come. The chances are that the situation may not be modified, but in this whole situation, you are experiencing pain. We must understand that we don't forgive people for others. We forgive people for our own peace. When we forgive somebody, we buy peace for ourselves. This is the energy that we get when we practice forgiveness. So let go of. Never carry that energy. And probably meditation is the most beautiful way. It's a recipe of love, peace, and happiness loaded in your thoughts. Look at this. You are an elevated soul. The love and the peace and the happiness for everyone. You're radiating that energy. And the moment you do that, it's magic, it's magic. You do it today. Just do it today. And you see the quality of sleep and the energy you will have will be absolutely changing. Sit down peacefully. I forgive you. And I also beg for forgiveness if I have done something wrong to you. I'm leading my own life now. I'm healing myself. I'm peaceful and I am happy now. That's the energy that you generate. Magic will.
I agree. Many times when we don't forgive people, it's like we are attaching ourselves to them. We are not
Yes.
allowing ourselves to heal. Yeah, that's very important that we have to forgive ourselves, or help ourselves really. When we are forgiving others, we are
True.
forgiving others for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, but also I feel that, when we have compassion, we have forgiveness. One thing is, in a way, yes, it's going to serve me, but it's also going to serve the other person. It's going to help raise the person to another level of consciousness, which eventually is going to serve me too. Yeah, so I
No
always
doubt.
like to see it that way, that in a way sometimes we kind of get little stuck in the hope that whatever positive energy we create is going to help us, is going to serve us, but at the same time, it's going to help whole of humanity, and we are part of
So,
humanity. We are all part of one big pool of energy that we draw out of as well all the time. And if
so we
I
will always
yeah.
remember that, if one line that we all have to take, that it is very important for us is emotions are contagious. They are contagious. They are very, very contagious. And second, they are value neutral. You can choose a negative emotion, you will still be spreading that. And you choose a positive emotion, you will still be doing that. But the message is self-compassion followed by automatically to all others. That is very, very important. As you rightly said, that whatever we are becoming an embodiment for my own self, it has to radiate to others. You cannot. It's like an incense stick. If you light it, You cannot ask that incense stick not to spread the fragrance to the whole room. You cannot say that you limit your fragrance to 1 feet. It has to spread. It's a contagious energy that is going to spread.
Thank you. Yeah. And so we're getting close, but we still have a few minutes. And I was thinking that you did touch upon this a little bit. One of the things, in a way, this kind of situation where somebody has hurt us very badly, then we find it very difficult to be compassionate. But also sometimes we find on a regular basis, if we have to kind of exercise compassion a day in and day out, we end up with, which is something which is called, which has become very popular, especially in the medical world, called as compassion fatigue or empathy fatigue. And so I think, and you have spoken on it, and I thought that maybe kind of give some final statements on this, that there is a possibility of training ourselves to be more compassionate, and that is the compassion training as a formal training, if you will, just like the military people go for formal training to be Navy SEALs, some sort of formal training is important for us to be able to maintain that level of compassion. Because, see, when I see many of my colleagues, many of my juniors, day in and out, when, they're working 12, 14, 16, 20, sometimes 30, 36 hours straight on, at the end of the day, or end of the night or end of the shift, if somebody is complaining of pain, it almost kind of, the tiredness, the fatigue causes a sort of numbness, if you will. So they start off the shift with feelings of compassion. Oh, this person is in pain, let me help this person is having some trouble, let me alleviate that person's trouble. But at the end of the shift, at the end of those 18, 20 hours, they find it almost impossible. So want to talk a little bit about that?
So I'm aware of this term compassion fatigue. And, normally what people used to do, this term originated right there in Mother Teresa's camp. Also, the nuns were practicing continuous compassion. They became fatigued and they were given a 1-year break. My take on this is very simple, very simple. Fatigue is a consequent of not just physical phenomena, but it's more related to our mind. So we can become fatigued then when we are continuously giving, but that continuously giving also has to be balanced by continuously inculcating the same emotions in our own self. That's the key. So compassion fatigue can easily be taken care of by energizing your own self at least twice a day. My dear friends, my message to you is very, very clear, that we never ever become tired by doing something good to others. You can get tired and you can say that I am busy, even sitting at the home and not doing anything. And you can still remain very easy while continuously giving n number of things to thousands and thousands of people simultaneously. It's all the mindset that we are developing in our own mind. So simple practicing Raj Yoga meditation, giving space to your own self. What is meditation? Giving space to your own self. 1440 minutes, again I say, you are using mobile every day in your life. Earlier the mobile was used only for talking to each other. Now it is used for multiple things and it has turned into a smartphone. So what do we have to do? We charge our phone at least twice or thrice a day. Or some of us even carry a power bank, isn't it? Why? So that we are always connected. Similarly, we as human beings, while we are continuously doing n number of things to so many people throughout the day, my question to you is, are we also charging our mind like a power bank? How many times? Ask yourself. On this journey, all of us today, how many times yesterday only did you take out, or even today, reflect on yourself, did you take out only 2 minutes to reflect into the mind power and charge your own energy? Your life is a consequence of your thoughts. Are you taking care of your thoughts at least 10 minutes a day? You can take out at least 20 minutes in a single day out of 1440 minutes. Possible or possible?
Absolutely.
It is possible for your own self, for practicing love and gratitude and forgiveness to others, for practicing compassion to others. It's not being selfish. It's just self-care. Compassion fatigue is a term which is originated consequently to not taking care of your own self. That is very, very important. So that is what I learned in Brahma Kumaris very beautifully, practicing and energizing your own self before giving it to others.
Thank you.
Inculcating and becoming experiential experience. You have to become an embodiment of same before you give it to others. So 20 minutes when you get up in the morning, please do it for one day. For guys in US, it's night, and tomorrow morning you'll be have a E-free good morning tomorrow. Just do it for one day. E-free good morning. No digital, no print media, no social media, nothing. Sit up, get up in the silence. Or know that searching for the mobile, where is my mobile? What are the messages I have got overnight? It doesn't matter at all. 1 hour, it's absolutely doesn't matter at all. I'm having an E-free morning tomorrow. And practice love. Just be yourself. Plan. It's a beautiful day. I energize myself. I'm a compassionate, a loving human being. Every person who is going to come, I'm going to give him energy. And second exercise, after which I'll stop, is today, when you are going to sleep, right after a few hours, have a E-free good night for last time.
E-free.
Please have a E-free good night.
Sure.
No WhatsApp good morning. Your conscious, subconscious brain are connected. Absolutely practice gratitude and be in silence. That's the key. And you see, magic will happen.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, very much appreciated. One of the things that Raj Yoga meditation teaches us, that there is a source of compassion. There is this ultimate source of compassion, God, the supreme energy, the highest consciousness that we can also tap into as many times as we want. 24/7, that source of energy is available for us. And in fact, we can kind of create a constant source of flow, if you will, from God towards us, and fill our inner resources with compassion, and then we will be available to serve everyone with compassion, as much as people want, as many times as they want, whenever they want. Yeah, right. And so I guess we are almost at the end. I really want to thank Dr. Mohit for such wonderful conversation that we had together. So now I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Kanishta.
Thank you so much, both of you, Dr. Mohit and Dr. Shwetank, for this rich, insightful, very enlightening dialogue on this very, very important topic of compassion. And now I would like to invite Mr. Naveen Nayak. He's with us. He's a chemical engineer by profession. He worked in Pfizer and lived in Chicago for a long time, but now he's retired. He lives in Sacramento, and he is the president and treasurer of Gujarati Samaj in Greater Sacramento area. He's also a Rotarian, through which he has been involved in several international projects helping his home state of Gujarat in India. He's very closely connected to Brahma Kumaris Center in Sacramento. I welcome you to share your thoughts and feelings about today's session with all of us. Welcome, Mr. Nayak.
So, Mr. Nayak, you are the co-host, and you can unmute yourself and speak. We don't see you yet because I guess your camera is not on.
Yeah, I'm on. Do you see me?
Not yet. If you were on, we would have seen you right away.
Yeah, I think we can see him.
Can you spotlight him?
Yes, yeah.
Good evening and
Yes.
Om Shanti to everyone. I'm very much pleased to thank Sister Hansa of Brahma Kumari Sacramento for giving me this opportunity to speak. It was an honor to listen this wonderful conversation between Dr. Swetang and Dr. Gupta. I learned a lot. It was a very simplistic way of teaching compassion and cultivating the compassion in our life. How beautifully it heals our body, mind, and spirit. And more importantly, the Raj Yoga meditation that he talked about, that he himself healed. So we have opportunity for a Raj Yoga meditation as a Sacramento campus, which is available to everyone for a whole month. And also, I might add, I have personally experienced my life. This Raj Yoga meditation helped me in healing and creating personal enrichment of my growth. And thank you, Sister Kanistha, Dr. Swetang, for conducting a whole month of this virtuous programming. And we have a great response. A lot of participants is joining and getting benefit for themselves. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nayak. And now I invite Sister Hansa. She is the coordinator of Brahma Kumari Center in Sacramento. Spirituality has always been part of Sister Hansa's life from a very young age. Through spirituality, she has been able to nurture, heal, and shorten the pathways between Eastern and Western cultures, creating a bridge that many could cross by sharing knowledge of the ancient teachings of the East with similarities in the Western philosophies. Sister Hansa has been an active participant in the Interfaith Council of Sacramento, and she has also been involved in a variety of projects with Indian Association of Sacramento. For the past 4 decades, Sister Hansa has shared her wisdom through storytelling. She is very light-hearted, very creative, and she uses simple ways to make others understand the complicated truths. So I invite Sister Hansa for taking us through beautiful meditation experience.
And we all love Sister Hansa, right?
Yeah, she is very loving and we also love her. Thank you, Sister Hansa. And I welcome you for taking us through this meditation experience.
Om Shanti.
Can we spotlight her, please?
We all listen, beautiful research, and all the details about compassion. And finally, it comes back to self-compassion, self-work. And we all have to make sure that I focus on that one word, that my compassion to myself is going to radiate and bring the world of compassion so easily. We all are, the entire humanity, in history of humanity, going through the crisis of these qualities. And so now a time to re-enhance our inner inherent qualities. How to do that? There are few beautiful practices Dr. Mohit has mentioned. I will add in few things. I'm sure some of you are practicing compassion in variety ways. One of the very good resources, 12 Steps of Compassion Charter by Miss Armstrong. And there is a group of people, those who are conducting compassion language, compassion conversations. And everyone is mentioning one simple thing, that you start compassion with yourself. And one of the steps is never try to suppress your situations, your state of mind, your consciousness. Be real, be honest. If you feel hurt, accept it. But then heal yourself. If by mistake the knife will cut my finger while chopping vegetables, I will feel pain. I don't have to say, no, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. No. You feel the pain, you realize it, you understand it, it was your little carelessness. But what you will do is immediately put some bandage, put some ointment, put some medicine. What has happened, why compassion is difficult? Because we are allowing to build up the hurts. So I will suggest you to do so simple things. Write down whatever you are feeling. And if you believe in God, write down as a letter to God, I feel this. Whatever you feel, upset, angry, uncomfortable, hurt, and allow God, who is the highest healer, to heal you and awaken and ignite the lamp of compassion within you. It is a personal coaching, personal healing process. And another thing is do visualization. You visualize all your uncomfortable memories, uncomfortable feelings, as if you are standing near the ocean. And let it, all the layers and labels of your difficult situation, let it go into the ocean and feel the waves of the ocean are taking it away. And you will see how the compassion is becoming easier. Because sometimes we have so much burden of the past, and that's why our inner inherent compassion is suppressed. It needs to open up. That's why we say it's a journey of discovering, uncovering, and recovering. So let's sit in meditation, turn ourselves within ourselves. See myself as a beautiful self, which is my real self. So I am able to see my both realities. Present realities, which has so many ups and downs could be, but the real divine spiritual reality, which is sparkling star, beautiful. And I am ready to uncover my present reality and allow my real reality to come on surface. While taking deep breaths, I become point of light and visualize my present realities and my real realities in order to release my present reality, uncover those layers. I visualize I'm standing near the ocean. bare feet entering into the ocean, and see the vastness of the ocean. Feel the beautiful sound, music of ocean waves. And open my arms to open my heart, open my soul, open my mind. And I visualize all the uncomfortable, negative, sad memories or any situations of suffering or feeling down or defamation or any kind of things which is non-positive. I allow to open that memory bank. And one by one, I am releasing it. I am letting it go. And I feel the way ocean waves are coming and returning. They are taking my all these layers very far, far, far. And I feeling light and light, lighter and lighter. I feel some kind of cleansing. Its unattended wounds are releasing, and I feel divine energy of supreme power. The light comes upon me. And that is like a surgery took place, and it healing ointment of God's love is showering upon me. So one hand I am releasing, another hand God's healing energy coming. It is almost like allowing my inherent compassion is emerging. And as an expression of my compassion to myself, I offer a flower to myself. I hold little candle and I am ready to say, I am a beautiful light. I am a beautiful light. I am a beautiful light of compassion. I am just fine. Whatever I am, however I am fine. Whatever happened on the surface, it doesn't change my eternal beautiful self. Now, with the power of my eternal beautiful self, I will create new present reality as well. And I will do same to express my compassion to all around me. Whoever is with me, I will offer flower of compassion, and I will offer a light of their eternal self can be ignited. And the way I am creating the circle of compassion, garland of compassion, rosary of compassion, aura of compassion. And as you think, so shall you become. And we all will think, and we all will become, and we all will create a world of compassion very soon, with the companionship with ocean of compassion. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Hansa, for the lovely meditation. We thoroughly enjoyed that, especially the visualization of being in front of the ocean and letting go of all the negative energies, and then creating a garland of compassion, a rosary of compassion, a flower of compassion, light of compassion, and so on and so forth. That was all very beautiful. Thank you very much. And so don't go yet, just one more moment. There are a couple of announcements. Next Tuesday, we have the 4th session. This session will be Dr. Girish from Mumbai, India, will be joining us. He'll be the guest speaker. And he is a long-term Raj Yoga meditation practitioner, but also he is a psychiatrist. So we will get to learn from him as well. And the 4th session is going to be about forgiveness, something which we touched upon in this session a little bit. And just want to let you all know, yeah, please, if you could go to PowerPoint, yeah, the slide view, please, the 3rd one. Yes. So Sister Hansa has started a Raj Yoga meditation course for all those who are interested. This will be in 3 languages, Punjabi, Hindi, and English, as we had mentioned last time. Some of you who are interested in the Punjabi course, for them, they probably would have missed the August 3rd one. But if you contact Sister Hansa at this phone number and this email, which would also be in the chat box, which you can copy paste to your Word document or wherever, or you could take a picture of this slide. So if you see here, the Hindi language one starts tomorrow, then and it will be every Wednesday, 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th, 5 to 6:30 p.m. The English one will start on Friday, 7th of August, and then 14th, 21st, and 28th. And there are 3 sessions that of Punjabi, 10th, 17th, and 24th of August. But Sister Hansa will arrange something for you between now and 10th, so that you can do the 1st session, because these sessions kind of build upon the previous. And if you have missed the 1st session, it will be difficult for you to get the full understanding of the 2nd one. Yeah, so with this, and also if you could go to the previous slide, please, Brother Girish. Yeah, and if you are interested in knowing about where Brahma Kumari's centers are located right now during this time, the centers are not physically open, but they are always available when you contact them. So if you click on this link, that is brahmakumaris.org/center locator, you will be able to find a place that is close to you. And for those who are interested in knowing, because some people have asked us that if they want to donate to the cause, to this entire event, and to more for future, these are the links for the Sacramento Brahma Kumari Center. So you can donate it that way. So with this, if you could end the PowerPoint, dear brother, and yes, and then just want to finally, as we end this session, once again want to thank all of you for your active participation and your patient listening, as well as, of course, our wonderful guest speaker, Dr. Mohit Gupta, who gave us such beautiful insights. We thoroughly enjoyed the session. We also want to thank Sister Hansa, who again was the main motivator behind these series. and who took us through such a lovely meditation experience. Then also there are a few people who are working behind the scenes, the IT professionals who have helped tremendously to make sure that these calls remain smooth, and also that these then are broadcasted live on Facebook and YouTube. And in a little bit, maybe by tomorrow morning, sometime during the day, I'll work on editing these videos, and they'll be available forever for you to watch, listen to, yeah, and and take benefit from, yeah, whenever you want, on Facebook as well as on YouTube. All right, with that, we end this session. Om Shanti, and thank you very much. So let's wave our hands to our guest speaker, Dr. Mohit Gupta. Yeah, as a
Whoever
token of
can open their video and wave the hand to. Om
yeah,
Shanti, everyone. Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
thank you.
Om Shanti, Om
Om
Shanti,
Shanti.
Om